Let's meet the press.
Let's meet the press.
We're always working to try to get in the newspapers, and you want to be seen, you want to be heard. But now we're sitting here with the man who can make us seen, and he gets us heard, and without paying him too much money, we get the articles in there, and it might cost us a beer maybe. He doesn't really drink beer, probably, though.
Probably not.
He doesn't even drink coffee.
You don't drink coffee? Not at all?
No. I don't like it at all. But vodka is fine.
Vodka? Oh, right, okay. Oh, you like the clear stuff.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, that way it doesn't...
I'll be back in a minute. Wait.
Yeah. You got some of that?
Yeah.
That way it keeps your urine more clean, too, right?
It doesn't get yellow.
You said gold.
Oh.
Gold.
I can't even see the things coming out.
That's good. Well, that's just because, our advanced period in life. That's why we can't see. It doesn't matter.
So,
welcome to the Real 45 podcast. And Pove Persson from Norrtälje Tidning.
Mm.
We are super happy and thankful that you decided to join us on the...
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. It should be fun.
It should be fun.
Mm.
And it's pretty cool because you started when you sat down and asked, so what is there like a game plan to this? Or what's, what are you trying to get at here? And
I was thinking if it was some kind of a trap.
yeah, you never know. You just never know. We'll find out soon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine me trying to trap something?
No.
Catching a mouse. Now there's something I'm getting pretty good at. That's the only thing I can't call it really a trap, except I've set a trap.
you catch it and then you yell at...
Catch and release?
It is kind of catch and release. Yeah. I don't know why they don't run away. They seem to just hang out after I release them. But
do you talk to them?
Yeah.
Explain?
Yeah, usually...
What is supposed to happen?
I'm the nice guy, right?
Yeah.
So I don't get a chance to explain to them what's going to happen. But after it happens, I kind of get really down and feel sorry. I'm like, man, I'm really sorry. But I told you to leave. And you didn't leave. So I had to remove you.
You wrote a sign, maybe in English, but they talk Swedish here.
Might be something to do with that. Maybe that's where I've got it all wrong.
Probably.
Probably, right? Yeah. So, yeah, I hate to call myself a hunter or a killer.
You surely don't look like a hunter.
Pretty much not, right?
More like a killer.
Yeah,
yeah, more like a killer.
Yeah.
Killing
Mouse
you
killer.
softly with this. Yeah.
A mouse killer.
Yeah.
Probably.
They're scared of me.
Hmm.
They're scared. When I come home now, they run.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The big guy.
Yeah.
Coming home.
Till I come back, till I leave, and then they just take over the house again. You probably never heard this story. Maybe Stefan's heard it, I think, about the mice.
The mice, yeah.
They got into our place a couple of years ago. I came home. I usually come back to Sweden before Jenny does, before her and the kids, to get the season started. And I came home. I came back, and Jenny's dad said, "Hey, you've had some critters in the house, but I caught 2 of them, and now everything's okay." I'm like, oh, right. He said, yeah, they had built a nest in one of your sofas, and he had found it, and I'm like, oh man, that's crazy. So, but he said he got it. So I got home that night, and he had finished cleaning everything up, and he told me all the stuff that had happened, and he had closed one into the tvättstugan, into the washroom, and the thing had got in there, and he couldn't find it, so he just closed the door. Well, when he came back the day later, the edge of the what do you call it, like the baseboard, träska, the mouse couldn't get out of the door, so it just started.
He wanted to get out.
The whole way across. I mean, it's like a 45-degree angle.
Did he succeed?
He didn't succeed.
No,
he didn't get out.
he didn't.
No, he didn't. And when he came out, he made his wood chips everywhere. We don't think he succeeded anyway, because we found out later he was getting in through the pipes where the Varmepump where the heating pump was. So, long story short, they did all their stuff and they hit the road and left, and it was, I was jet lagged and feeling horrible. I didn't go to bed until like 2 a.m. or something, and I shut the light off and I pulled the covers over in the bed and I'd go to hop in and I was like, maybe I should just check, make sure there's nothing there. Turn the light back on and I opened up. Good thing that I did that. I don't know what came to me to check, but when I opened it up, those hot bean bags that you can warm up in the microwave and put it on your neck or something? They had found one of those, and it has to be there's not one that could have done this by itself. They had taken that thing from like a nightstand somewhere. It was up inside our bed, underneath the blankets, and they had made a nest and opened the thing up. All the beans and everything had come out, and they had made a nest inside our bed.
Did they eat it too? Or?
No. I don't know. It was a mess.
You didn't ask?
I didn't ask. I was pretty pissed off at that stage, and they wouldn't, I was in no mood to talk to them.
No.
So, and it was like, and then I smelt it, and you could smell from all the vodka they were drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
They
had a party.
They had a party, and I was, no way. And I saw, then it's like 4 a.m. by the time I finished cleaning everything up, get it all done, and put some new sheets on. I'm like, jeez. So I lay back in bed and go to sleep, and then I hear this.
No.
And I'm like, in the room. No. I'm like, no. No. And then I'm like, quiet again. Underneath the bed. Oh my God, this is like a nightmare. Flipped the light on, and I saw the little bastard run into the bathroom, so I shut the door in the bathroom, and I got him in there. So then I ran into the garage and took one of the mouse traps that we had set in the garage. And I set the mouse trap, came in, opened the bathroom door, slid it in there, closed it, and I'm like, that's cool. And I could hear him moving around, and I just laid in bed, and I was like, and I heard, snap! Good night. That was it. Got him, and I caught 2 more within the next 2 days.
Oh, shit.
And then they had made nests in different places in the house. But yeah, that's my story.
Have they got the message now, or they are gone, or?
They came back this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were back at the end of last year before we left Sweden to go back home to California. I was laying in bed, same thing, and I heard them in the what do you say, the vind in the attic, and I could hear them running on the trusses inside. And so then to get in there, you have to go from the outside of the house to get in at our place. So I put a ladder up, and I set up a trap and put it up there. Day later, caught one, and it was big. It was a big one. And I haven't seen them that big yet, so I
like that was between the eyes.
Pretty much, yeah. You can't see how far apart my hands are. But
it's like
he was
showing about a meter.
Yeah. Just more than we're talking yards here.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, a meter. What is a meter, right? This thing was like a yard.
So the yard I know is a beer.
Yeah, a yard of beer. So I ended up catching 3 up there before we left, and then Jenny's dad caught another 2 during the winter.
So they kind of move in there when you go to the U.S.
I think they've got a key.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Yeah.
They asked me. I made one.
You probably did, right?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Matte too, my good buddy Matte. He has a key to our place.
Okay.
So I'm starting to
That's
think.
the main suspect.
Right. So maybe is that how you got it, or
Could be.
how many
I wouldn't
keys from my place
drop
are there?
his name here, but
Right.
could be that way.
I just did.
Is that how you get to know each other, guys? With Matte? Or
No,
is
it was earlier when Greg was in Rospiggarna. Must have been 20 years ago. For the first time when I started working at the newspaper.
When did you start working there? 20 years ago?
No, 1996. Then I worked for a couple of years. Then I moved to TV4 for almost 2 years. And then back to Norrtälje Tidning again.
So TV4 in Stockholm then? You had to go.
Yeah.
Did you live out here then?
No, I moved to Stockholm.
You did, huh?
My
What did you
life's
do there?
mistake.
That was a mistake.
Yeah. I have been living in Stockholm for 2 years, 2 times. So 4 years in all. And that's the 4 years that meant a lot to me because now I know where not to live anymore.
Was it like that?
No more Stockholm.
So you quit from TV4 because of the Stockholm life?
No. No.
The life is that.
That was good. Damn those Stockholm people.
It was only for 2 years I worked there, and then the project that we were working on wasn't going to be, what do you say?
Permanent.
No.
Uh-huh.
So I took my hat and moved back to.
When did you move back? Because I worked at Norrtälje Tidning at some point. I think maybe 2000.
I just asked him this when he came in too.
I remember.
Well, I think that you were back then, or did you just move back, or?
I really don't remember.
Anyway,
was he the Stockholm guy that came back? Oh, that's Stockholm guy.
Oh, that's him.
No, it's the memory and the vodka, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind
of parties at Norrtälje Tidning. I know.
So it was the vodka in Stockholm that got to him. He had to keep coming back to Norrtälje. Is like rehab. Rehab for him. It's really good. Came back to the newspaper for some rehab.
No, but it was back in those days when you had been riding for a couple of years for Rosbygg and I think.
Yeah, 95 was the first year. And then, I remember speaking to you. I can't say exactly what year it was there, of course, but it was there. But it was, that's obviously we've known each other for quite a long time. And obviously I was in Rosbyggarna for a lot of years, you know.
Yeah. Is it 15?
I always thought it was 14, but people keep saying it was 15.
And
14
or 15,
whatever, it was in there. And was really, obviously, there was a lot of years where you become a part of not just the club, but you become a part of the area, become a roast pig, you know, and it's just like, I started to speak with Pove quite often, you know, and then found out between you and Matte.
We have been playing football together. Earlier.
Yeah. And Matte, I met more or less exactly the same time when I met Jenny, because she was friends with Matte's ex.
So you did choose between Jenny and Matte?
I kind of was stuck with Matte.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whether
it wasn't a choice.
No, I didn't have a choice.
No.
And he came. He was like part of the property, you know. When I moved in with Jenny, I moved in with Matte too, and it was kind of like that.
And he stayed.
Yeah, he stayed. Yeah. And he's kind of he's even become a friend.
Oh.
But then I went with Greg and Matte to Grand Prix in Denmark and then to Częstochowa in Poland for a league game. And then we flew home from Warsaw.
That was a fun trip.
Yeah, very funny.
And Matte was talking about gulrötter on that trip, carrots, saying Matte, Grisslehamn, Pig Smile Harbor, all the names, and then suddenly we were going to Denmark and he started speaking Danish.
Oh,
I'm gonna get me some gulrötter. I'm like, what the heck is a gulrötter?
He was just making sounds.
He would just come up with something, you know, classic Matte.
Oh.
So it was carrots.
Carrots?
Yeah. Gulrötter. Why carrot? Where did that come from? I think it was the easy sound for him.
In Swedish it's quite easy to explain it. It's like a yellow roll, and it's a carrot. I mean,
a what?
Wasn't it?
A yellow roll. Morot.
No, wasn't that what he said? What was it?
Gulrötter, of course, right. Gulrötter. I don't know how do they pronounce?
No, you guys have lost me totally.
We just get off track now.
Are we talking about carrots?
We're talking about in Denmark.
Yeah.
Danish carrots.
Yeah.
You know, they don't just have bacon there, they have carrots too.
I didn't see this coming.
No, that's right. See, it is a trap.
Yeah.
I'll forget it anyway.
Anyway,
we didn't come to talk about Matte. He's just a part of our.
That trip, by the way, was so funny, and then it was the toughest time in my life when I had to, as the only one awake in the bus, and the driver who was some
Raphael.
mechanic, and I didn't thought I should survive. I was in shock.
It's quite funny.
But he was steering with his knees, eating some and doing things on the phone like this.
Oh shit!
In 130, 140 on the.
Probably even faster.
Yeah.
If you're being
It
kind.
was, my eyes just like were big. I couldn't understand how
And he
how should I survive this.
And you should be. I mean, if you go to the trip with Matte, then you should be marinated. So that didn't help.
Well, he never came with us again after that. I can't figure. Now I know why. He's never admitted this.
I have the same mechanic.
Yeah. Yeah, we've still got the same. Fortunately, we got one or two more now too, so it's. So at least while he's texting, the other one holds the steering wheel for him.
Some kind of trip.
That's fun.
And that was. Didn't you make a story about that? About kind of the whole trip and kind of the life of a speedway guy.
No,
Was there a story behind it, or was it just to go and?
It was just to go, and I remember that I wasn't allowed to get paid from the newspaper.
Oh,
and
really?
then I as a revenge, then I do this trip just for fun to see how it works.
Right. So there wasn't okay. Got it. This is good.
But I wrote a column about that shocking moment when he was driving.
You did?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. That's funny.
Do you remember the?
I like the revenge part.
I like that too. That is cool. But the best story that you got from Speedway, or the best moment with Greg, you know what I mean? Because you met so many times.
Yeah, but that to have the opportunity to go on that trip was a great experience for me, and to look at this circus from the inside, that was an eye opener.
It is.
It's probably like I said, we've known each other for a long time, and these kind of trips are fun because it makes more sense now. Obviously, if that wasn't really a working trip, it was even more fun because you could just blend in and do what everybody else did, and then a friendship develops then, because then you understand it's not just a business kind of relationship. You end up being friends and doing stuff, and maybe he was with Makta too, so you guys probably drank a beer or two and talked about everything else, and then being a part of it, then in the game, out of the game, drive to the next place, in the game, out of the game, drive to the next place, and then you have like a understanding. And for me, like, being Speedway's pretty big in some parts of the world we go to. Obviously here in Sweden it's big, in Poland it's pretty big. So media is a key part, and from a writer's point of view, you always have your story, you always have what you say, and sometimes you say something you think, maybe I shouldn't have said that, and sometimes it's too late, and a guy from sitting like working for Pove or whatever could be sitting there and he's trying to get the story, and suddenly he's got the story. And for me, that's the part where if you have a relationship like I have with Pove, he would be the kind of guy that would go like, is it okay if I put that?
Yeah.
Where some other guys might just put it.
Yeah.
But he would always be like, I like that part, because sometimes they understand, like, maybe you want to think about this for a minute, as we've just had, recently.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I'll explain to Pove later, but that's the cool part. So then you could develop a kind of a respect for each other, and sometimes something comes out and you got to take it as it is. But a lot of the other journalists that I've met through, especially when I've been involved in a few clubs, you always have, there's one or two people that you always know that you can kind of share on the record, off the record information, and they respect it,
Yeah, it's
So-
it's some kind of give and take.
Sure.
The whole relationship is like that. That you have to. You can't. We say in Swedish, bränna.
Oh,
You can't burn the.
the contact.
No.
Burn the bridge, kind of like that.
Yeah.
Or,
You can do that once, then it could take years to repair.
Yeah.
So
oh, I've seen guys that have done that, and I can't say that I've ever had. Maybe one guy I had that really bummed me out. You know, I'm like, come on, man. You know, you're always there for him. You're always giving the story, always there. And then they kind of overstep the thing. You're like, and then they make it out like, well, you said it. You're like, okay.
yeah, you probably did.
I probably did, exactly. And that's when you learn the hard way.
Mhm.
But isn't that the hard part to speaking with the press? Is like you can elaborate on stuff, and then this is the interview, but everything was an interview. They didn't know what was when it was
Right.
talked or when it was the.
You weren't sure when the interview was and when you were
But-
just
Yeah.
talking, right?
There's a lot of people involved in the speedway that I'm working in now, and there are too many that goes like this. They I can tell you this, but you can't write it.
Mm.
Oh, right.
And that's just a part of the interview. Then they go back to something I could write, and then you're back again and telling me, don't write this, but
You know.
Oh
so
my God,
that's
yeah.
kind of hard to what do you say?
What do you say? Differentiate.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah,
You need a story,
Mhm.
and you got part of the story, but it's like a teaser,
yeah.
and you can't write this. So, can I really write a story? Is there a story? Do I have a story, or should I just leave now? Or is it just another wasted journey?
Yeah,
Mm.
but is it like, because I went with you for a couple of trips,
Mm.
and in the middle of this circus that you said,
Mm.
it's always like people that want to talk to you after the race, and you get 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and
Mm.
it's hard to. Is it hard to find a question? You have 3 minutes.
No, actually not. Yeah, not when it all is about the meeting. That's almost the same questions all the time. I mean, why did you stop in the third heat?
Yeah.
But when you meet someone outside the meetings and the race, then that's harder. I mean, but it's much more fun to interview people, and you don't just have to talk about the meeting that we just seen.
Are we gonna get more of those interviews now? Because I saw that Norrtälje Tidning are like doing more speedway now.
Yeah. It's in all this. The company that owns us, Mittmedia, are doing a really much speedway now.
Really?
And yeah.
So you can have like direct. The matches will be direct.
Yeah.
Said on.
Oh, you mean like right? Okay.
Yeah.
Last Tuesday in Kumla,
Mhm.
then we broadcast the meeting on our site, so you can look at the interviews and see the game.
So that's with the people from the media that are filming it, or the speedway play or whatever.
No, it's we, but we are doing the interviews and everything before and after.
Okay, so
And then it's those guys with Speedway Play
Mm.
that are filming the whole thing.
Do they give you guys access to that footage too if you want to take?
Yeah, we
so
do.
you can.
So-
Oh,
yeah,
that's
we
cool.
have something called Studio Speedway every Friday when we pick out the 4 riders of the week, if you call it, and then we talk about special things that happened the last time with Elite Series.
Mhm.
So then we show you have been there.
That's good.
Yeah. Once so far.
Once, okay. I'll keep working on it.
Like one of the 4 riders of the week, and then we can show the heat, one of the heats, and
That wasn't the one where Andreas passed me in the last corner, was it?
Of course.
Where I made the Rider of the Week. Yeah. Look at Rider of the Week today is Greg getting passed
He
by
gave
Andreas.
He gave up.
He gave up. Damn.
No.
Greg, you
I
are a
think
Rider
it
of the
was,
Week.
I
You
think
loser.
was the first meeting in Sweden this year.
Okay. I have to say, for me in particular, I like this app, this idea behind it. I would much rather, of course, see it on TV, where you could just see it on a national network for free and not have to pay for it. But something about the app seems really cool, and you can access it from around the world.
Are you talking about Speedway Play?
Speedway Play.
Okay.
Sorry, and it's really cool, and the way they do it, I think it's great. I wouldn't say it's overly expensive if you buy it on the monthly basis. If you buy it per event, obviously it's going to cost you. But they've had a lot of technical issues, right? It's been
it's been very, very much so.
And each time we've been driving home from the races, we try to log on and go back and watch it, and I haven't been able to see it once on the way home, going back to watch the highlights, which is really disappointing in that sense. And then I talk to other people, and they say, yeah, I had it, was working fine, the whole thing, it's fantastic. I'm going, how come I can't see it? Maybe it's just me.
Because you're an American.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. I've heard that from
them or
from the guys.
You have to take
the
my
guys?
phone.
No.
The things I got to do, we had to have a podcast with Pove for me to understand more of my issues.
Problem.
Damn, I got issues.
Oh.
We did another kind of separate filming for Bridgestone Tires. They have a special program they're doing, and they came to Sweden for a week, and they're meeting specific people that have kind of a different kind of a story, not just your average Joe. And so they took me as an American based in Sweden, racing motorcycles, been involved in different types of business and things like that, and which was really cool that they asked to do it. And then they came here, and they went to Kumla when we were there, and we were on TV that night, so there was a lot of the filming. So, and I said, you're not going to be able to film in the races, you'll probably be able just to get some footage here and there. But when they got there, they met the guys from the Speedway Play and all the commentators and stuff, and they ended up making a real easy, simple handshake deal. Yeah, you can film here, you can do this, you can use some of our footage. Super helpful, which was great. I think that's cool that they're sharing in that manner. They weren't going to charge them over abundance amount of money to use the footage, but
the Speedway Play is something that involves every club.
Right.
So it's in their interest to get out in so many ways.
See, this is cool to hear this.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't get enough of that information at the launch.
So they're this Elite Föreningen Svensk Speedway,
ESS, yeah.
That's the guys behind this Speedway Play, as I understand it.
So it's them that are.
So it's in their interest to get how many people
to watch it.
To watch it, yeah.
Do you like it yourself? Do you think it's a good system the way they're doing it, or would you rather see it on?
I can say that I'm a bit disappointed when it comes to so far, I should say, to the commentators.
I've heard a few people say the same.
A lot of some of them haven't seen enough Speedway to comment on it. So, but that they are learning, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But I know a lot of people that are disappointed and think that that's not working. You can't see it. You get, as a watcher, you get angry because they are the wrong names. They mix the riders, and but that's you have to start somewhere, of course. But
of course, and probably a budget thing too.
Yeah.
But they are using some of the regular guys, Stefan and.
Stefan Clemens.
Yeah.
He's one, and he's really good.
So he's got quite a bit of experience with it too, right? So. Oh well, we hope that they master it, figure it out. Because I just like the idea, and people back home in California, I hear people in Australia too. They love it because now they can follow the riders, they can follow the sport.
Yeah,
it's amazing how crazy people around the world are. Actually, they want the fact that they can see Speedway so many days a week. You can get Sweden on a Tuesday. You can get something from Poland on a Sunday. You can get the Grand Prix every second week. Stuff in England if you've got the right job. I mean, there really is no end. You have to have your ins. I think some of this Polish stuff is pirated. A lot of it, that goes out.
All right.
But you can get it.
Yeah. When did you start as a journalist? Or why did you start?
I was.
What happened to your football career?
I had to put that on hold.
Did you? Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm taking it up in a few years.
All right, gotcha.
Then I can come back and talk about that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. That'll be in our next.
No, I was 30 years old when I decided to be a photographer, but my teacher said that don't do this photography things. You should write. You have a talent. So I changed my mind there. So.
At 30?
Yeah. Before that, I've done a lot of things, from baking pizza to selling boutiques.
Stores.
Like a salesman in the stores.
Wow.
Do you make a good pizza?
Hmm?
Do you make a good pizza?
No, it was just the what do you say, the deg.
The dough.
Yeah.
The dough, yeah.
It was just.
I think it would be.
And I got
pizza.
paid in beer.
Oh.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, what a combo, pizza
I want
and
that
beer.
job.
Yeah. And I only worked Fridays.
No, Fridays, Saturdays.
Okay.
I took they paid me right after when I was finished. So you can just sit down and have some beers.
That wasn't good because you maybe not come back on the Saturday. So you should have got all of them on Saturday.
Yeah, it was a risk.
Yeah. Irish company.
That's pretty bad. To hear that, they had to use that as the bait on Saturday. Like, hey, we got a couple. You want to join us for a beer this afternoon?
But
by the way, we're gonna make some dough.
But sometimes it was safer to pay me on Friday because I was still there when it's Saturday.
To start cooking, start making again. I made some of the best doughs in my life.
I didn't know how, but.
Well, I don't know if you refer to it here, but in the States we refer to it, hey, I got to make me some dough. That's the same thing as making money.
Oh.
Yeah. How much dough did you make?
Yeah, you say deg.
Deg.
In Sweden. Yeah.
You say the same for money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to get me some deg. Deg it, man.
Do you like deg?
Well, as an American hanging out in Sweden, you say, hey, do you like the deg? And you'd be like... I'm not really sure how to answer that one, my friend. You keep your deg to yourself. Dig it.
But anyway, I was starting school when I was 30. Then after 2 years, I got the work at the Norrtälje Tidning, and that's the way.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
And he's only 35 now.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
And have hanging with you in 20 years.
I mean, look at us.
As a journalist.
Exactly. Exactly.
It feels like that.
Yeah.
It's just 5 years, but
has it also
feels like 20?
Has it always been sports?
Hmm?
Or did you do some other things before?
No, I have done everything. Wrote about everything in the newspaper.
Love letters.
Yeah.
Oh, did you do that too?
Yeah.
Were you
every Friday, 1 page, a love letter to.
What was that one? That dear. They always had the one in English, and the dear somebody, and then there would be the story about it. So, dear Pove. So the love, right? Okay. I will leave that anyway. So, but when you started with the paper, then, so you didn't go straight into sports. You started.
No, I didn't. I started with writing, accidents, politics, Yeah.
Like a general reporter.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Are you into politics?
No.
No. I'm just curious.
Yeah. No. That's
I mean, to have to write about it too, and then you're like,
Mm.
okay, now I have to be into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, of course, I had to be back then, but I'm quite tired of politics.
You can understand why. You know, not to go any further than that. But anyway, you've done a lot of sports in recent.
Yeah. Very much so. Mostly the last few years during season, it's almost only speedway because we are doing so much speedway. And it's now we can get numbers, how many had read that and everything, and speedway is outstanding in our numbers.
Is it really?
Wow.
Yeah. Most people.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
But is that something that has, I mean, for if you go back when you started, and now the technique has been, must have developed a lot.
Mm.
And now you're not just a writing reporter, you have to be out and do the
Yeah. In the
Oh,
beginning,
TV
Yeah, true.
thing. And
Yeah.
in the beginning, it wasn't even a website.
No.
You know, it was just a paper, newspaper. So that was completely something else in the way we work comparing to now. I mean, now you should be able to do TV, write, take pictures. It's all of it. And that's more fun, I should say. It's yeah.
For you,
Yeah.
in that case, so you
Yeah.
enjoy that part.
Yeah,
more
yeah.
than- So
Very
you're not
much.
just, yeah.
Mm.
do you know where they are going to post it, on which channel when you go out, or do you just do the thing and then someone else decide for you?
No, we are, our main channel is the web, and then there are some people working with the newspaper. They are picking what they would like to have in the newspaper.
Mhm.
So we do a lot more than you can see if you open the newspaper.
There's a lot of stuff that just gets washed away.
Mm-hmm.
Now it sounds like we're doing an advertisement for Norrtälje Tidning, but in this sense, you've seen from it just being a newspaper to what you have today. So does it overall, do you see, is there still a demand for the physical paper in the hand? Or do people actually go for more of the online? Or is it, I mean,
We
the
want
general-
people to go online.
Right.
But when it comes to Norrtälje Tidning, the people that, what do you say, prenumerera?
Like have a
You have the paper coming in your...
prenumeration. It's
okay, so it's coming to your mailbox. And
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Mhm.
And those, most of them that have Norrtälje Tidning that way are, I think, over 65. So they don't do computers.
So just, yeah, a lot of them don't. No, you're right. That's true.
so,
That's true. Mhm.
Yeah, I think the paper will be here a while longer, but further away that they will cut it, I think, because you should...
Environment too, right?
yeah, but the costs of the paper and bringing out the newspaper,
and
Distribution
Norrtälje
is,
a big area.
yeah.
It's far away between the mailboxes.
Right.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So,
This is always the interesting part. 'Cause just growing up too, for me, everything was about getting the newspaper, and the newspaper routes that we've talked about in some of the other podcasts, where that was a job for us as kids to go out and probably was the same here.
but tell me about the speedway in US is something else. In general, I mean, there are cars when they talk. If you Google speedway,
right.
and then it's
usually NASCAR,
yeah,
IndyCar.
yeah.
They talk about Daytona Speedway, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Charlotte Motor Speedway. You have
How can your way of speedway, the speedway we talk about here, how does it survive? Is it hard to get through?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And this has been a topic of conversation for many years. People, if you go just the general public in the U.S., you go up, what do you do for the living? Oh, Speedway. Oh, really? Like in Daytona? Not really. We wish. We wish we were racing around Daytona.
Yeah.
But
on the same track?
On the same track, yeah. Just throw a little bit of dust out there so we could kind of drift it. Or polish the concrete a little bit. The tarmac. But, yeah, that's obviously a big thing, you know. And when you put it like that, it makes you wonder, because Speedway is a minority sport, by all means, a very small minority sport, and pretty much only on the West Coast there. California, northern and southern California, and then you have a couple of tracks in New York. And then there'll be sporadic. There's one in Indianapolis, actually, not far from the Motor Speedway, and then there'll be a track in Colorado, one or two maybe, and then North Carolina. I think they even have some small tracks there. A lot of the NASCAR drivers are have an interest and love for Speedway too, and watched a lot of the Grand Prix stuff when they were showing it on ESPN or some of the whatever speed channel that we had over there before. And there was a lot of talk that they were going to open some tracks and try to run them alongside a NASCAR event. So if you have a NASCAR event on Sunday, they were going to try to put on a Speedway event on the Saturday night. Right next door in the parking lot. They can build a Speedway track, a small one, no matter how big or whatever, or at least in the vicinity, so that to try to help the sport to grow and associate Speedway with Speedway. So it's actually a former NHL ice hockey player who was working hard to do this. A guy, maybe you and I have talked about him before. Jason Bonsignor is his name, and he has a track in New York called Champion Speedway.
Oh, okay.
And he worked hard to try to put some stuff together. And on the East Coast there, and he had a lot of these ideas, and for whatever reason they don't happen. If it's just financially, obviously, is probably a major thing, and then getting in contact with the right people to make this happen, it'd be a great idea. I know Monster has a lot of ideas, things that they want to do, and mix Speedway in alongside other events that could fit in. Obviously, they're a big player in NASCAR these days too. But these have just been things that have been mentioned over the years, and whether they ever go any further or not, I don't know. The sport's struggling though, in the U.S. It comes up here and there, but it's tough. There's only one or two real promoters over there these days, and the rest of them are just making it work. You can't say that they're doing a bad job, but the promoters that we had in the 70s and 80s growing up, those guys did everything so good and so right, and probably maybe they saw the change coming and hit the road, and it's just surviving these days, sadly. Such a great sport, a spectacle. You can see it in a little bull ring. House de Vic, for example, is fantastic because like Motala too, you have this small arena, you can't really get a bad seat. And you're almost touching the riders, There's a few tracks that are like that. Even Molilla is the same. It's because it's like in a bowl, and they build up the grandstands around, so you're kind of up and over the track. Hard for like Vietnam though. You're so far away. The track's so big, it feels like you get further and further away from the riders. East of it, exactly. So these guys have it harder than some of the other ones, but
it's a fantastic TV sport.
Yeah.
You can show a meeting with one camera if you it's so compact.
Pretty much, right? Yeah, that's true too. You don't really need that many cameras around, as they're showing in the Speedway play.
One thing I was thinking about when it comes to my profession and working around you guys, you do a lot of press when it's the top 15 in the world. Do you get tired of it? You seem always so glad, happy, and talking. But do you get tired of doing press?
For real?
Real 45?
Yeah.
Well, off the record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put my hand over.
Yeah, just put your hand over the mic.
Great at background.
I can't say that I actually get tired of it in that sense. You can have your moments where you have a rough day or it's 32 degrees, and you don't get that in Sweden very much. But in Poland, it's different here than it is in Poland, because Poland it's growing and growing and growing, and the speedway is...
There's so much pressure.
There's so much pressure.
Yeah.
And even these days, you know, without saying too much that could potentially get me in some mischief, you have to know who you're allowed to speak to and who you're not allowed to speak to, and what you can say, what you can't say, when you can say it. So it's kind of you have to know a lot. You got to have somebody kind of reminding you all the time too. We have so many regulations in the Polish league now that there's a lot of stuff there that you can do or you can't do. And
as a rider or as a journalist?
Both.
Okay.
And you know, there's a lot, you know, it's growing. It's a professional sport, as they call it now, and it's getting more and more difficult. But it's really, really tough, because you need to have somebody who's consistently reading the regulations, and those regulations actually can change quite frequently. The way they are. And if you're not up on it, you can miss something that could potentially cost you a penalty of some kind. And you know, they want a clean sport. They want to make it good. They're doing a great job with everything they're doing. However, you have to really be on the game and remember to make sure you've got this on and that on. You say this, you don't say that, you do that, and then you got to go race. So then by the time you get to the track, for me, it got to the point where, you know, I've changed my thought process on the sport these days, and how I'm in the second division now for numerous reasons. But part of that is like, maybe it's my age, maybe it's catching up with me, you know, that I used to just deal with it. It's just what it is. But now it's like, gosh, you know, every year it gets more and more and more. And all I want to do, my biggest thing, all I want to do is get on the bike and go out and win races. That's all I want to do. I know I have to talk to you, the press, and I know I have to talk to my club, and I got to work with my teammates. But there's so much more going on around that it's really, really, I don't want to use the word difficult, but more demanding now of things you have to do or that you can't do, and you have to go race.
But I always fascinated about that. I mean, there's a meeting coming up tonight. You should travel to the track and get focused and sleep or whatever you guys do, and then you're riding in totally 5 minutes. I mean, it must be very hard to be able to focus on just that 5 minutes when it comes to the tapes are going up. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen around in so much longer time. How do you, what should I say, how do you focus on those 5 minutes? Or is it the whole evening that are focus?
I think you're focused on everything, but those 5 minutes, it's only 5 minutes. But actually
you
what
go to Poland and ride 5 minutes and then go home to Sweden.
That's right.
That's insane.
It is insane. Who would do that, right? And it's like you said, it's each heat lasts 1 minute. And this is something, again, it's always talked about, but the way you put it like that, that's what makes him a good journalist, because he puts it in another perspective. You don't look at it as just your next question. There's a lot that goes into that 5 minutes in a night. And that, I have to say that 5 minutes can be physically and mentally draining for 5 minutes. Because all the stuff that's going on around, and then you have to go take all that and shut it down and push it to the side for those 5 minutes, 1 minute intervals. You know, maybe it's, you know, technically it's probably 3 to 5 minute intervals for each heat, because you've got that. By the time you shut everybody down, and then you put your helmet and your goggles on, and you go to the tapes, and you have your last word with your mechanic before you go to the track, and then you're digging and all that. Then it's the 1 minute of like, and then it's off again, and breathe again, and
and 2 heats later, up
you
on the horse again.
Do it again, and it doesn't sound like much, but
it's quite cool that you bring this up, because when we were in Jesho for a couple of weeks ago, I was thinking about this thing, because I flew over there on this Sunday, and you've been there for some days, and we just met up, lunch, we had a lot of fun, went to the track, and everything was normal. And then you went down to the bikes, and we were up taking a beer, or what we did. And then when I looked down, you just put your helmet on, and it was like, shit, now you're on.
Yeah, I know, I'm going racing.
That's Greg racing, you know. That's racing Greg, or what do you say? It's like, and it went so fast, and then we met up again. It was, I just rode my bike. It was like nothing.
What have you guys been doing the last 2 hours?
Yeah. And I actually reflected on that. Shit, how do you do that? And then we were out having dinner, and everybody, it was like, I haven't done anything, but you just went there and won the race. I mean,
it was only 5 minutes.
It's not, but it is.
No, it is. Yeah, this one is and Pove is turning our podcast with him back on us now.
Yeah,
it's like that's why he's the journalist, right? He just totally twisted it.
That's my trap.
Yeah, he trapped us. Yeah, but this is a good thing, and I going back to it, I don't get tired of it, except that I can be tired after the event, and maybe of course you can judge. You can probably see the look on the face when they're, especially if it's been hot outside. The summer times are rough because it takes, if you haven't hydrated good enough, even if you have, those 5 minutes in 35 degrees sometimes, or 32 in Poland, can be, after the race is over and the pressure goes off, hopefully you won the event, so you know the pressure has gone off. Otherwise the pressure comes more and more. So it's like a pressure cooker, you know, and it's got to, at some point the steam's got to come off, and you might be the guy that gets it. So
but from my point of view, we over the years I've been around so many of you riders in so many situations, and you start to learn the way you would treat all separately, because I mean, you are all individuals. I mean, sure. Reacting in your way, and some you can just look at from 10 meters and say, oh, sorry, George, what?
Yes,
it depends on what we're talking about.
Yeah. 10 meters in from someone you can see in his face. Oh, it's not time to talk this Tuesday.
No. Yeah,
you see that, you know. And some riders you can talk between the heats, no problem at all.
Not me. You would never talk to me between heats.
No. I would never talk to you at all.
I said it to.
Yeah, I would never.
I'm glad
I'm
paid to do that.
Yeah, that's right. See, it's mutual, so mutual.
No, but
I've seen even you get eye contact from a distance like that, kind of like a heads up, kind of, and then that eye contact you can make right away. You can see, and I can see like. And then I got, I'm gonna make sure I catch up with Pove. I can see that he's here, and probably. Wants a couple of words about whatever, which is cool too, because then you can see they'll be like, and I've even seen the point where some guys see that you're having a bad day and they look at you and you look at them and you can think like, yeah, I'll call you later, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of, it can be like that, and not Pove, he always comes up anyway.
Yeah.
The hell were you doing tonight? That was bad, right?
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah, you're right. You are getting old.
Are you gonna follow Rospiggen around now? Do you travel with him to see what?
To the away meetings and
yeah.
I do that.
Do you go to every match? Yeah. You guys have done that.
Yeah,
quite
as
a long
long as
time.
I can remember, we have always some meetings we have missed out because of illness or so.
Sure.
But,
I didn't realize that you were in place I thought that you maybe
Yeah, okay.
yes.
Yeah, I
Call
mean, as
them
far
up,
back
you know.
as I can remember, you guys are,
Yeah.
you were nearly at every.
It's a complete different thing to be at the place and talk to the. I mean, you get all these things that happen around between the races and everything. If you sit behind your desk and pick up the phone, and I mean, even if you look at it on the computer, it's not the same. I mean, you don't know why some rider retired. You don't know why. You can check that out immediately if you're there. So it's totally different.
In conjunction with what you're saying right now, it's quite funny because you have the national papers too and stuff that they're not always around. The big papers, but they grab a story when there's a story, and I still laugh about this one because it was that time when Nicky. When I tripped over Nicky's bike and fell on top of him. Remember that one? Yeah.
Seen that.
And I was driving home that night in the car and the phone rang and it was like an 08 number, Stockholm number. And I'm driving, I'm thinking, I wonder who this is. I answered it and it was one of the big papers, the national papers. And this is so-and-so from such and such. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on what happened tonight with that incident. And I started laughing. And he's like, what is that? I go, it's just really funny because I've never heard from you guys until something like this happens. And it was just really funny. Like he was laughing about it too. I go, what you have to do to get a phone call from.
That's the way to get media.
Yeah, that's the way to get the media. Then I learned right there.
Yeah.
All right, I got it now.
More days.
I'm learning all the time. Hashtag.
But a lot of people around Speedway are just saying like that. I mean, it has to be a crash to show up in the TV on Sportnytt,
Kvällstidningar.
See, that's all I got to do now is I got to start thinking of something special to do every week to get some media, like jump a roundabout or something, and like.
You need an advisor.
Yeah.
Hit him.
Yeah.
Hit him.
This will be perfect. Good headlights.
I got my guys now that they're on me all the time because they know I like to talk and they know I love the camera and all that stuff. I love myself. In case you didn't know. But
it's fun that someone does.
Someone's got to love me, right?
Yeah.
And they have a thing now that they're working on. They want to have like the word of the week.
Selfie pause.
They want the word of the week that they want to throw on me when I have to do an interview. They want to throw a word on me that's just a random word of the week, and I have to fit it into the interview somewhere. So like now I got more pressure. If it's not what I can say or I can't say in a league match somewhere. Now they want me to say something, otherwise I get a penalty from them, which could be way more brutal than monetary. So I have to fit it in.
Yeah.
And I got one in Tetro. And that was repeated from just what Carl, my little guy, said in a recent thing we did. And he just said, "My name's Jeff." And we're what? Oh, and he just out of nowhere, "My name's Jeff."
Okay.
And he did a little piece for our Real 45
yeah.
podcast deal, and he was doing his own film. He said, and he's dancing around with these swim goggles on, and he goes, Jenny, my wife, was filming him. And
sounds like Kasperchak. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe we better just tell Stefan about that. We'll show Stefan some. Yeah. That was.
What do you say, Stefan?
Have you seen some of that stuff? Speaking of, have you seen some of his videos too? Yeah. No, actually, Kasperchak, Christoph Kasperchak, he's a rapper on the side. He does a little bit of rapping, and it's rapping, right?
Yeah, some kind of.
Some kind of a rap, yeah. But little Carl, he does this thing, and he's like standing there, and he's got. They did it in California. He's got just his underwear on and some swim goggles, and he's like dancing with his back to Jenny. She's like What do you want to do? She's like, I want you to film me. I'm going to do an intro for my podcast.
Okay.
Don't know where he gets that from. So he's standing there and he's like dancing, like doing one of these with his back, and he like turns around. He's like ring ding 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 ring ding, ding, and he spins around, and he's like, he goes, my name's Jeff. Welcome to my blog. I mean, welcome to my Really 45 podcast. See you on Monday. Something like that. My name's Jeff. Like, where the heck did that come from? So that's what the guys threw on me. My name's Jeff.
Yeah.
So out of the blue, I got
And you guys that listening to this should be glad that you wouldn't be able to see what Greg did.
I should have
that's right.
Yeah.
So anyway, my name's Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't Greg, that was Jeff.
Yeah.
That did that. So I snuck it in an interview. Even Phil Morris, out of all people, had the microphone. I don't know why he had it at this time, but he had to say something to me in Tetro during the Speedway of Nations, and I said, yeah, my name's Jeff. And he was like, oh, yeah. And he even came to me afterwards like, what movie is that from? I know it's from a movie. I have no idea. My kid said it. Okay, Jeff. So, yeah. So don't be surprised if some weird stuff comes out later in the year. And I don't know. Some of the things they've thrown out, I was like, don't even. Why did I make this handshake deal with you guys? I really just screwed myself. You should think before you speak. Again.
You should, yeah.
Again. So, yeah, it is. That's what it is. But if we just move up, we met with you recently too, and Pove has been instrumental in numerous things that I've been involved in too. And Stefan and I had the charity bicycle event, the ride, which I always call Pove whenever I'm doing something, whether I get it, whether he's got the time or the interest or not. I always call him.
Bad hamstring.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Pove, we're doing a 100-kilometer bike ride. No, my back hurts. I'm like, no, I just wanted to see if you would cover it for us.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But he's been really, really helpful. Shows up to our events. You know, we did the bicycle ride, quite a number of years, and we've taken a break from it more recently because of other podcasts and stuff like that.
Things happen.
Yeah, things happen. But the ride might come back.
Yeah.
And he shows up and helps us out, even if he can't be there. Somebody shows up and takes a few photos and does an interview, and we get a write up in the paper leading up to it or after it or during, which we're super grateful for, of course. And you should come with us on another trip to Denmark and Poland sometime.
Yeah.
So, we can repay the favor.
Is it many people that you meet or have an interview with that call you back and are angry?
I do every Wednesday.
Yeah,
every Wednesday.
It's not even about me, but I call him and I'm angry.
Yeah, but
it's not my problem that he just take 5 points. I mean, yell at me.
It was 6.
6.
No, I mean misunderstandings or.
Oh, it happens, but not often. Not often at all. I mean, it's up to you to try to write everything you write with respect to the one that you're writing about. I mean, even if it's involves problems in any way or so, you have to write with respect. And if you do that and are correct, then people don't get angry.
No, I can see that.
They can maybe get angry, but on their self.
Yeah, it's like you wrote the thing, but it's
the
correct.
Truth and it's correct and not, but they don't want to read it.
Exactly.
Themselves,
right?
I mean.
Yeah.
So, but
there
are some. I wouldn't drop any names, but there are some riders through the years that.
I'm sitting right here.
Have some riders, as I said.
Gotcha.
that are they don't get angry, but they don't. It's so obvious that they don't like doing media, and they almost started to hide when you are closing in on them, and so.
When you're closing in on them, he says.
Yeah.
I had him surrounded. He had nowhere to go.
You know, I'm big.
Yeah.
I just
back him into a corner.
Standing behind the trees.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. That was sounded really good.
yeah, but well, they all have to learn that we just are doing our job, and we are not doing it for us. We are doing it for your fans. I see us as a link between the riders, the teams, and the fans, and it's the fans that do that the sport exists. I mean, without the fans, no racing.
And if you don't get that interview or that report, all your fans don't ever get it, because most of the fans can't even get up close and personal and get a word from you. They don't know anything. So without you, it's I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of guys don't get that or understand it.
Yeah, some don't do that.
For sure, there is.
But that's very important to understand, from my point of view, that it isn't me. I don't need that information. I need it to tell someone else.
I think that's a cool way to see it. It's like you're telling all the other ones. It's not just for the guys that are going to pay for the article and on the web. It's more like this is the way to actually get to talk to you or get your opinion.
And I can understand the riders that are having a bad night, don't want to talk. We have some of that recently in Rospiggen, and I can understand them. But the fans that watching what is happening, and someone isn't to recognize. I mean, he doesn't act like he used to on the track, and what's wrong? What is happening? You have to ask those questions to explain for the fans what's going on. I mean, you used to take 10 points, and now you're down on 2 and 3 every meeting. I mean, yeah,
or 6. But here's the same thing. Like, he doesn't get as many phone calls from me. He probably does actually, a year as I get from him. But when we do something together, or we got something going on, or just something, it could be something random. He's like, you're a good source for me, because I know that even if he can't do something, he might have an idea of something I can do. But or if you're trying to reach your fan base or just the general public, I need to get this out. How can I get this out? Of course, I would go. You can do a lot through social media, but you can't reach everybody, and you can't. He might ask me a question that I didn't think about, so that would be way more interesting. That would grab the appeal, or it could be a headline, it could be something like that. And I say this in all truth, that I would always call to someone like Pove, or when I was down in Motala, I'd call the guys down there from one of the papers down there too. They were always had a really good contact with them too, and they have that link to reach not just your fan base, but people that know you from the area. Roslagen is a pretty broad area here too. So I know I want to get to those people, and they know that I have my base here every year. So how do I reach them? They don't all follow me on social media, but probably most of them, even my closest family, are watching everything that you do and what you write, or listening to your podcast that you have, things like that. So I think it's really crucial. Really, really crucial. I could be a consultant for you, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could come in there, and what you should do is you guys need to get tight with Svemo and get a condition in the contract that the riders have to speak with you.
Yeah.
They can't say no. Otherwise there'd be a penalty.
Now you have, exactly. You made your own.
Yeah.
So, goes back to the pizza dough.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Straight out from here.
Right out here. Yeah.
So to sort of wrap this thing out, you need each other.
Yeah.
I don't know if he really wants to. I don't know how much he really needs me, But I think he needs me. Yeah.
I don't want him, but I need him.
That's what it is.
That's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Damn. Well,
It's a part of the sport. The
Yeah.
press, the
It
media.
is.
And
and now there's a Grand Prix coming up here,
Hmm?
7th of July. This is obviously very, very big for Roslagen, for Norrtälje, for Hallstavik, for all the surrounding areas. This must be big for you too.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Unbelievable.
What you said when we started this interview is how great your figures are for the people paying attention to Speedway.
Mm.
I didn't realize that, so I learned something out of this too.
Mm.
And this is I said it when I rode for Rosbergana, and I had my should have been my T-Ors race that came 12 years later.
Yeah.
And once a pig, always a pig, So there's something about this pig-on area here, there's always a piece there. And
We had that like a headline in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Once a pig, always a
You
pig.
did?
Yeah.
That's so
And a
funny.
picture of Greg Anders.
with a big pig's nose. Yeah. So no, people know I'm a big fan of the area, and I love this place. And I'm not just saying that because we're doing this, but you have to say it because you want to. It's a great area, and I think moving from Friends Arena to Hallstavik is a huge change, which a lot of people don't get. Right? It doesn't make sense for them because, like we talked about, it's how did we just go from this big national arena to this little Hallstavik area? But the place will be packed. The arena, they've built up there, they're growing. Everything around here is growing now. So it's pretty impressive to see what they're going to do and the stuff we've done recently with Visit Roslagen and trying to help to show the people that are coming here what you can do in Roslagen. It's not just Speedway, although Speedway is huge. So what other sports around here are most followed besides Speedway?
You mean spectators or what?
Spectators in general. I mean, just obviously you have all the sports, but I mean, is the ice hockey big? Is the football big?
No, football is always big, but
Right.
there's a lot of teams in lower divisions, and there could be between 1,300 people watching a game, and it's the same with ice hockey. Handball is next to Speedway when it's come to spectators.
Is it really?
Yeah, it used to be, not now maybe, but when Rimbo was in the highest division, was around between 800 and 1,000 people watching.
That's cool.
So yeah.
And what's the average in Hallstavik now, roughly?
4,000.
That's a lot.
That's pretty damn good for
I
a
think-
town how many people are in Hallstavik?
2,000.
Right, and so
I don't know, but
2,000-3,000 people there that live actually in Hallstavik.
yeah.
Huh.
But most of the people comes from other places. They've done some. What do you say? They checked that out during a meeting a couple of years ago, and it was 11% of the spectators that was from Hallstavik.
Oh. Did Norrtälje counts as Hallstavik or as
No, it was
another place?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So
11%.
Norrtälje, Uppsala.
But that's like
Östhammar.
400 people.
Hmm?
That's more or less 400 people that are coming from Hallstavik with 2,000 people.
Amazing. Huh?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So
It's cool.
yeah.
That's really cool. Well,
And it would be very cool to see all you guys riding a Grand Prix on that track. I mean, it could be awesome.
it's going to be a great event no matter
Yeah.
what. It's
Yeah.
going to be awesome. And what they're building, what Mickey Turnberg and the whole club are doing around there. I've been up there a few times this year with Wilbur, with his stuff, and we did the media thing recently too. And it's unreal, and the people are excited around the area too. There's older generations, and even when we were up there recently, Varule was there too, and Rolf Sundberg,
Yeah.
and they were all just to have a look because they were curious.
It's
It's a big difference.
a really big difference. And aren't they going out? It's like the biggest depot pit area.
Yeah, I heard that.
In Europe or something.
You know how what's his name? Gardell, Christer Gardell was up there and checking out security things, I think. And he said to Micke Törnberg that this could be the biggest depot I've ever seen.
I think so too.
You need to check it out.
Yeah, it's massive.
You can build a house in there and get close to the meetings.
that one, the little red one on the side, that is mine.
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
The summer house.
Yeah, it's my summer house. Pove, thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
And
Really nice.
No, it's a pleasure. It really is. You've always been good to us, and we appreciate your time, man.
Thanks.
Yeah. Don't call me. I'll call you. Yeah. Take care, man. See you soon.
See you.
Welcome to Real 45 with Stefan and Greg Hancock. We vibe out and have real talk, so tune in and check this out. Yeah, today is a new day. Let's seize it now and get hype. We talking about our careers, our family, and just life. Yeah, share my story with you. Inspiration like every day. Real 45, we gon' keep it live. I keep episodes on replay. Hey, Real 45. Yeah, Real 45. Show them how we do it, man. Yeah.